server since this is an international league, but I'm sure they have something good planned on out. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is Blaze Casting. I am an up-and-coming Dota 2 caster, kind of amateur type stuff right now, in-houses, tournaments, what have you. Do a little bit of video guide type stuff on the side, but the draft has been going on for quite long enough while I'm rambling on, so I'll just kind of go a little bit of speed draft, if you guys don't mind. So what we're looking at right now is we got ban on Magnus Arcseer, Templar Assassin, Nyx Assassin. We got the picks up on Bounty Hunter, Jakiro, Batrider, Queen of Pain, and Wisp. Interesting that they picked up the Wisp when they already have like 2 intellect heroes already selected. Wisp is a strength hero, but he is ranged and more played in the supportive role. So along those lines, it's going to be interesting, the dynamic that they're going to be going for, but it does open up a lot of different options. Right now, if I was the Dire, I'd be banning out a bunch of different carries that rely on Wisp's attack speed bonus. So we're looking at Chaos Knight, Tiny, Sven, heroes like that. I mean, you could pick up still heroes like Faceless Void. He has a lot of potential with the Tether, the Time Walk combination, as well as just getting a lot of attack speed for those. In continuous procs on the attack speed with the boost, you can get the continuous procs on his bash, which I've like 3 times have hovered over the name, but it's Time Lock. Anyways, as far as the final pick for Bounty Hunter and Jakiro, they have to pick up something that will kind of secure their lanes a little bit more. The Bounty Hunter will be an amazing offlaner. Jakiro will help out very supportively, but they don't have a mid yet, they don't have a carry yet. So if they're going to be banning out a lot of carries, I would recommend just picking up one for themselves right now to start things off. Maybe one that's a little bit more effective up against the Queen of Pain. So maybe a BKB carry. Sven was very common just in the past couple of weeks, and that could be a good option there. But you have to keep in mind, Batrider is great against BKB carries with that Flaming Lasso potential. He won't burn them down through the Firefly and Napalm stacks, but he can still disable them at the very least. So that's something to keep in mind, and you kind of got to watch out for that. Almost think like a Lincoln's BKB. Bring in old school Morphling would be awesome, but they want to go with securing their mid lane or support, just getting a third support. Rubik is flexible in that manner, so they're going to pick up the Rubik, and with that they have a lot of different options. It's great for stealing. You can steal Blink from Queen of Pain, steal Sonic Wave, Batrider, any one of his abilities, Napalm or Lasso, really good. Firefly just looks silly. I don't know if it's that great because you don't stack up the Napalm alongside it, but it's still a good spell. There goes the Tiny ban, the Sven ban, and actually the Chaos Knight is banned out by the Radiant, so that's going to be interesting. Taking that off the board for themselves, they obviously have something interesting in mind because those 3 bans went out really quickly. But one thing to mention real quick as far as Rubik versus Wisp, Rubik actually does very little up against Wisp as far as counteracting his mechanics. If he spell steals, you get either the Tether or the Relocate. You don't get both, so you only have one ability. You don't really have, you can't teleport other people, you can't be the taxi service because it just doesn't work that way unless there's like, I mean there's like a 2-second time frame where that's possible, but it's not going to happen. So along those lines, you don't have that. Also, he doesn't do any much magic damage. I mean, he does the spirits, but it's mostly early game type stuff before the null field is relevant as far as damage mitigation. So both of those mechanics not really that effective against Wisp, but of course he's not the primary player. He is a supportive hero that will make sure that somebody else can be the primary, the core destructive dominating hero, which is going to be a surprise pick, maybe like a Phantom Lancer or something like that, but they are saving it for number 5. They're filling out their supportive lane, Shadow Demon, Wisp, and who knows. So that's going to be interesting. But as far as how they want to lane this, I don't think that Wisp and Shadow Demon really have the greatest potential for our offensive tri-lane unless the carry is just like really high disable offensive. I mean, I don't know, Skeleton King, I really don't know. But the Queen of Pain is definitely going to be wanting mid, which would mean Batrider would most likely be looking for a safe lane solo or going in the jungle. But I do think this is a really solid pickup by the Dire, who because they don't have teams, I should actually work on getting my starboard up to actually put the team names in there, so I'll do that real quick. But I won't distract myself too much as the draft will still be proceeding. But the Luna is just a really solid pick overall. It can AoE down the Shadow Demon illusions, and while that doesn't matter that much, it can also just, late game carry very effectively. She can stack up in neutrals, or her allies can, and she can burn those down really quickly with the glaives, and just scale really well into the late game. She has good base damage right off the bat, and they have 2 ranged heroes that go right alongside her, so they'll be getting that Lunar Blessing. Along with that, she's really powerful in team fights. Once she has that Eclipse going in the jungle, there's very little that anybody can do. Heck, I could even imagine Batrider lassoing Luna, who just popped her Eclipse, and actually still dying to it, despite the one that generally has control over that engagement. So it's a definitely powerful hero, and they're going to pick up the Faceless Void to go up against that. I kind of saw that coming, just based on the hero interactions. There were so many carries that were banned out that they preferred. But Faceless Void is still very powerful. Not as great with the relocate ganks. Heck, I might even consider bringing in Queen of Pain just to get her that quick Aghanims possibly. Just getting her some quick burst out, you know, on the damage field, battlefield, whatever. But Faceless Void, still a very great carry to go alongside him when you transition towards the late game. He has Time Walk, which can set up a Tether Stun, which you can rank that up to actually a really long duration. Rank 4 Tether Stun, anybody that you kind of clothesline with it that passes through the line will get 2.25 seconds stun. No damage, but the stun is still a very valuable asset there, and the Time Walk can easily set that up. Along with that, the Time Lock, it has a max rank 25% chance to proc for 70 bonus damage that doubles in Chronosphere. So if Wisp has his Overcharge active while Faceless Void is auto-attacking somebody in Chronosphere, he doesn't even need a Mask of Madness. That's just free attack speed that he's getting, that he's just going to be obliterating people. Along with that, he gets a incoming damage reduction of 20%. He already has a backtrack for 25, so his effective HP is through the roof. These two things are kind of the drawbacks of Faceless Void. He needs durability and survivability so that his backtrack can be useful and his effective HP shoots up. Along with that, he needs some attack speed to get his Time Lock going. These are both the two reasons why Faceless Void is very scalable and is considered a harder carry, if not the hardest, just based on the fact that he's kind of an anti-carry, but also the fact that he not only needs those, but he benefits from them substantially. So that's going to really help him out so much as we get on into it. But do have Topsu picking up the Beastmaster as the final selection. That's great up against Faceless Void since he won't be getting a Lincolns anytime soon. Great if Beastmaster's outside the chrono, you can disable him for the entire duration. But like I was saying, I'm going to get my overlay fixed up with the starboard before we get on into the match. So if you'll bear with me for just a second, we do have the two teams here. Technically, hopefully somebody has a tag on because it's gonna be interesting. Looks like nobody has that. Vlad, okay, that's definitely gonna be them. Okay, so let me do that real quick. Should be at the top. Oh wait, let me do that. There we go. And there's one. And so that worked out. Okay, very cool, very cool. So got the starboard active. I guess I'll just minimize that for right now. Let's move back on into the game, introducing the individual characters, even if their names are rather ridiculous. So on the Faceless Void, the primary #1 carry role, they are going to be picking up Your Hate as the pilot for that one. Then we have Shaq Wow on the Shadow Demon, already starting off with that Disruption, Queen of Pain, just testing it out, getting a feel for his abilities. There is Afterlife on the Queen of Pain, and Vladimir Bashit is going to be on the Batrider. Looks like he actually is kind of opting for a mid build right now. Might be going for an offlane Queen of Pain. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to go for an offlane Queen of Pain, go for a solo mid Batrider, go for a relatively quick bottle or just boots and Basilius, and then have Shadow Demon, Wisp, and Faceless Void on the defensive tri-lane on bottom here. So they're going to be able to do a lot of stacking, pulling, and keep that Faceless Void farming. Obviously, Faceless Void is not one of those aggressive heroes, so that makes a lot more sense for the laning phase. But after that, looking on into what the enemy brings to the table, we do have Tropical Earthquake on the Dire here, and I'm actually just going to put up those names for myself too, so let me fix that. Because otherwise I'm just going to keep on forgetting them, and that's not going to help anyone. So, show scoreboard. Beautiful. Alright, so I got that up on there for myself, and now we have Topsu, like I said, on the Beastmaster. I love to put Beastmaster in a solo mid role just to get that solo-y experience. He can really benefit from getting that ultimate up pretty quickly and start ganking around with that as well. He has really great rune control with the Hawk and the Boar, and it looks like that's going to be the case because Rubik and Jakira are both playing very supportively, picking up a lot of clarities to stay aggressive in the lane and making sure that Rotari can get as much farm as possible. So by the way, Brutus is picking up the Rubik, and Wrath of Kebab is going to be picking up the Jakira, leaving Man of the Hour, Don't Call My Name, So Don't Call My Name on Bounty Hunter. So that'll be cool. He has wards already given to him by his supportive allies, and with that he will be able to hopefully ward out the pull so that you can prevent them from stacking up their creeps and denying him the experience of those to the neutrals. That's an odd thing to leave behind. It has a couple ring of protections coming on out to the Luna, the carry there, and she's going to be able to get Tranquil Boots and an Aquila out of those two items there, so that'll be very effective. But if you guys let me know if there's any audio issues or anything. It is a 2-minute delay, but if you guys can just say in chat or something like that, I want to make sure you guys are getting the best experience possible and out of that. That's why I do it. So there we go on into it. But it looks like Batrider did help out a little bit. He has spent 100 gold, so he was given these sentries by the stand-in LOK, but he himself has picked up at least one of his sources of regen. The other one was borrowed, but that's just based on how much money it took. He should have 350 with that kind of item build. So he was given the salve he bought the salve, but he was given the sentries, is what I'm saying there, and he put up a sentry right off the bat on this top rune to kind of cover that up as effectively as possible. Illusion rune picked up by Wisp and stand-in LOK, who has since changed his name, or I think that's what they were pausing for actually. He was disconnected. We'll go on through that, but they've changed up their lanes quite a bit. I'm just kind of surprised they let the Batrider kind of get the short end of the stick there, as he's going to be in a position that's going to be very difficult to survive and sustain. They're going to shut down the Beastmaster relatively hard with the Queen of Pain. She is just a great solo mid laner, but all the same, you are looking at a Batrider, I believe 350 range hero, 375, going up against 3 heroes in a defensive tri-lane, really good stun action, telekinesis, ice path, what have you. He's going to get zoned out pretty hard and have a very rough time of it. So great he got the sentry ward so that he knows there's not a lane ward on the field, but nevertheless it's going to be not his favorable position. Compared to Queen of Pain, where she has the blink, she is a little bit more stable. She can blink on out of the ice path, etc. if she has good reflexes. So I think that Batrider is going to have a pretty bad time. As a matter of fact, here comes the telekinesis following that ice path. You're looking for a little bit of path block from Wrath of Kebab, and that's going to take a lot of auto attack damage. He is not going to fall, but he did take quite a bit out of that, and definitely not where he wants to start. Popping the salve right off the bat, and that'll only take him to about 2/3 HP. So here comes ShackWow doing a little bit of auto attack rest, but with that stout shield blocking a couple times, it's not really going to do too much to him. They do have a couple sentries on the field, but those only last for 3 minutes, and after that he kind of has free reign. There are no more sentries in anybody's inventory there, so hopefully the supports can invest in that a little bit further to be a bit aggressive. There is a Shadow Walk coming out simultaneously with a Disruption, meaning that there's really not going to be too much coming on out of that one either. But Faceless Void farming very effectively right now, topping the CS charts 10 and 5, getting what he needs and locking down some creep kills. In the meantime, some nice stacking coming out of the stand-in for on Radiant here. So Lina, Varit, Borsh's Wisp going to be stacking up some Golems and Satyrs and going to be pulling those in no time at all, allowing them to pull the lane back, keep equilibrium here, and get the carry to be able to farm underneath the tower with that Stout Shield, giving independent farm. But one thing I did miss on mid lane was a little bit of interaction between these two. Beastmaster has been running pretty close to her, so unfortunately I did miss First Blood. But it is going to be Bottle coming on out for the Queen of Pain in no time at all with a Flying Courier already active, because he was able to 1v1 the Beastmaster. And one mistake I would say on the field right here is that Call of the Wild was not put up to rank 2 at level 3. It's a much more stable build in the sense that they cannot just run around and blink around and auto attack harass you. Like pretty much what happened was Shadow Strike went down, slowed him up enough that there were just enough auto attacks. He underestimated her and she was able to bring him down. If Topsu had that Boar up, since she didn't have any points in Scream, it would have been actually much more effective to slow down. But there is at least a kill on the Radiant Courier, so that is a little bit of recompense for the First Blood being spilt. Actually a lot more so, because it gives gold to everybody. 175 of the team, that's a really big deal. Did not have any items on it, but I'm curious how it actually went down. There's no way for me to detect that, but if there was, I would definitely let you know its positioning. Instead, it's going to be a regeneration rune picked up by Beastmaster. Finally has his bottle coming on out, so he'll get that rock and roll in just a moment's time. But it looks like they're transitioning into a dual lane. They know that Batrider has abandoned the top lane. He's come down to do a quad lane down with Faceless Void. Man, is he going to get supported. But 4v1, really not going to change too much, and the pace of the game is really just going to mean that both carries get complete free farm, but Batrider is going to be a little bit worse for wear as far as experience go. At least he's not going to be feeding. That's, I guess, the most important thing. But it allows Jakiro a little bit of more free reign. The blink is canceled, and with that, axes do go down. But Topsu is tanking up the tower the entire time. At least changes his target so that it does not continuously damage him. Anyways, Jakiro there has transitioned in, putting a little bit more pressure on the Queen of Pain. Has plenty of mana to spare with 2 clarities in stock, and with that, they can pretty much do whatever they want. ShackWow transitioning on in. I don't think that Dire Ward picked it up, so they are... yeah, or the Radiant Ward, sorry. The Radiant Ward did not pick him up, so that's going to be very effective in trying to jump in on that. Nevertheless, Beastmaster is doing pretty good on rune control, damage control in that sense. He'll keep his sustained HP regen through picking up that illusion rune and kind of going from there. Hello, how are you doing, guys? Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'm going to be a little bit slow to for the first game because I haven't eaten too much, but I'll grab a quick bite for 5 minutes after this game and hopefully get my energy pumping so that we can get into some awesome games. But that doesn't mean this cast will be bad. This will just be a very crummy excuse for missing first blood. That's all it is. Oh well, anyways, it's going to be interesting later in the game. Obviously, it's kind of drawing the line right now. Not too much going on. The best I can really hope for is a Sentry Bounty Hunter kill. When the Beastmaster Roar comes out, it's going to change the pace of the game quite a bit. He is level 5, looking for level 6, but his experience is being leached by that Jakiro, now sitting at level 3. So, pretty much not much going on there, but once that Roar, actually, Ice Path goes on out, and with that disruption, it's going to be a sure kill. He's going to delay the inevitable, but that Dual Breath comes out immediately after the fact, and they're going to take him down. Queen of Pain got forced back, did not have her bottle available because the courier got killed with it, was trying to go bottle Crow. And with that Queen of Pain, no bottle means that she cannot sustain a lane, had to go back, and that set up the kill on Jakiro. Now looking for a little bit more damage, blinked in behind, nice little juke, but I think the axes were going to be there, but unfortunately he popped the Call of Wild instead. So by popping off that 25 mana, he would have had the axes in just a moment, and been able to get that off before the disruption, but unfortunately the Queen of Pain is going to die to neutrals. Just gonna suicide over there, and that's no benefit really at all to the Dire there. So Tropical Earthquake, not taking too much of an advantage out of that. In the meantime, though, what I was kind of highlighting on is that it's not really going to be doing too much one way or another. Heroes are going to die back and forth a little bit, but unless there's a severe advantage as far as ganks go, this is going to be a mid to late game game. The Faceless Void, just focusing on farming as much as possible, wants to get some big items, treads, etc. Varit having an interesting time in the jungle. He should probably be stacking a little bit more. If he stacks up, okay, that is a Janata Bounty Hunter. Did pop that off, but the Wisp is there to give him a little bit bonus movement speed. They're kind of trying to burn him down a little bit, try to bait him out, but it's not really going to be the best option. He's looking for the Courier, but did not have Janata up. And with that, definitely not going to get the kill unless the neutrals get involved or something along those lines. So that's very interesting there. I don't think he would die to fire or anything, so yeah, it must have been the neutrals. And with that, Faceless Void pops off his first ultimate of the game. Chronosphere going right in the face and getting the kill on Topsu. So Beastmaster shut down a little bit. He does have his ultimate whenever he TPs in or just runs down. He doesn't have boots just yet, but whenever he gets into the fray, he will have that ultimate available, and we'll have to watch out for that. But in the meantime, Faceless Void picking up a nice solo kill, and I think he feels that was well worth it. He has his Midas already set up. He's going to be looking for his treads in no time at all. They did pick up the Courier twice now, so that's, again, a huge advantage. You can just see this giant leap right here. That's not creep kills. That's not hero kills. That's not first blood. That is just the Courier sinking down. Right here, this was first blood, but then immediately after the fact, it's all about the fact that they got the Courier, they got a creep and farm advantage because Bat Rider was forced into the jungle. So that is going to be what you're looking at there. And then once more right here. So there is a hero kill, but it's not going to be really favorable for them. And while I'm talking about that, Queen of Pain does take a fall, jumping in the middle of the lane here, up against 3 heroes, really not where she wants to be at, because again, that Roar can be used as soon as he gets on out there. So he finally has his boots. I guess he had that on the Courier, because he definitely didn't have money for that. Gotta wake up. I know you guys in Europe have been awake for a while, but me, it's, you know, the crack of noon, and just have to get going. But in the meantime, they do have rank 1 Liquid Fire that will allow them to push a little bit more aggressively on this tower here, maybe even wanting to commit a rank 3 Fade Bolt to the next creep wave to try to burn it down with the axes. That is going to be an option, but we'll have to see if that's what they want to do with it, or just kind of control the runes. They're going to fall back. They do have the rune on bottom. It's going to be invisibility, and that's where things are going to happen. Allocate kind of scouting things out. It is nighttime, so they have very limited vision, but kind of doing a little bit of rune race. They know they cannot contest the Beastmaster there without risking their lives, and so they're going to fall back. Disruption really wouldn't do too much with that. But meanwhile, Luna has had literally nobody else on her lane, sitting at 55 CS now. Sure, she didn't get that solo kill, or that kill on Beastmaster. I shouldn't say solo since there were 3 involved, but nevertheless, she has been farming quite effectively, sitting at 440 GPM, despite the Faceless Void's Midas. So that is, I mean, she got her Midas of her own. I believe she got that a little bit sooner. And with that, they both have quite a bit of gold per minute and experience per minute gains out of those items, but not too much specifically now. Invis Beastmaster popping off the Roar, already had the board right in the right position, and now able to bring down the Bat Rider, who is sitting only at level 4 right now, or 5, sorry. But level 5 Bat Rider not able to do too much when he gets ultied up like that when he doesn't have full HP. So bad position for him to be in. Not his fault necessarily, but very fortuitous for Topsu to find that opportunity while he had the chance in the rune. Meanwhile, yeah, Retard is just going to keep that up. Going to go back into the jungle. Going to Midas up a high experience creep, possibly a Centaur there, and just be able to get a lot of gold as a result. Midas. There you go. Anywho, in the meantime, Shakira finding himself in a very bad spot. Not so great as compared to the Beastmaster prior to that. I guess he thought he could get some goodies out of the jungle there, but even his nice position Dire Ward right there wasn't able to see what was up at the top of that cliff, and with that, walking into a bad spot, he was locked down. A little bit of action going on Brutus. That Shadow Strike will throw him down quite a bit, but with only rank 1 Blink, I doubt that that's going to come of too much more, because it is just such a long cooldown to have to deal with. Regeneration Rune, scattered out by Wisp, might as well deny it at this point. There's really not too much more to go with that. There is a bottle on Batrider, actually, so interestingly enough, he did opt to go for the bottle, just to sustain his jungle a little bit, since I guess it's been rather effective since he has dropped down and gone back to the fountain multiple times now as a result of his death. Speaking of which, currently KDA topping out 2-0-0 for the Faceless Void. Beastmaster has been in the fray quite a bit with 2 kills and 1 assist, but he has died a couple of times himself along with that. Oh, Roar coming on out. They have vision on the high ground, and they're going to be able to bring him down, no problem at all. So nice gank right on in, and Batrider having a really rough time of things. About to get down to him. He is 0-2-1. Having 1 assist early on down on the bottom lane, but other than that, really not too much happening. And this Observer Ward doing work, allowing them to be aggressive in the jungle, and here comes Wisp. Just needs a Borsh though. Now Ice Path won't go on out, but needs to actually tether up on Beastmaster apparently. He's going to try to get down to there, but nice tether over to the Queen of Pain. If he had blinked, he might have gotten a little bit more range on that, but I think they're going to be okay one way or another, as there is the tower here to TP on into. Batrider has his lasso available, wants to go aggressive, wants to try to use that, pull somebody back into a bad spot, popping off the flame break, but it's just going to give them a little bit of a nudge before they are able to retreat to their tower. In the meantime, though, a little bit of exchange between Luna and Shadow Demon results in the Shadow Demon actually getting locked down there. Nice damage from Luna. She didn't even have to pop her Eclipse. Just so much right-click damage right now with 3 points in Lunar Blessing. Maxed out Lucent Beam, was able to harass him down enough that once she wanted to close the gap, she was able to bring him down. And one thing to mention here is Luna has so much movement speed. Tranquil Boots, on top of the fact that she already has a really high base movement speed, 405 versus the 345 of the Shadow Demon with only regular boots. So combining those aspects together, you're really seeing a lot coming out. Now Batrider's going to get locked down pretty hard. Not going to even, doesn't have mana for the Eclipse, but it doesn't matter. Too many stuns, too many bursts, and that's going to be able to bring the Batrider down. But on the top and bottom end of things, the Faceless Void able to get 1 kill for himself. The Bounty Hunter being a little bit too aggressive trying to defend this tower here, and paid for it with his life. So here's going to be Faceless Void bringing down this tower pretty quickly, and it looks like Radiant's going to be able to defend their tower. So a little bit of exchange right here. Beastmaster versus Void. He's going to try to roar him and then deny the tower. It is deniable, but I don't know if it's low enough. There is a siege creep, 1 more siege creep auto attack. Now it is deniable, but he wants to go aggressive. He wants to try to go for the kill instead. The track is out. The TP went through, and Janata will finish the job. But you have to kill this tower before the siege creep. No. The siege creep was able to get the last hit on out on the top end of things. Yeah, it looks like Faceless Void is going to buy back TP onto the bottom lane, I guess just to farm. I mean, it is low cost at this stage in the game, only 440, but it looks like a little bit of much more of a buyback of frustration than anything else. Anywho, up on the top lane, they will be looking to push, creep skip a little bit, and try to go aggressive on this tower. Whether or not that will work out for them remains to be seen. But as far as that exchange on bottom, it actually worked out decently for Lina, Varit, Borsh, which I have no idea how to pronounce that, so I'm just kind of going with it. But the fact of the matter is they got this last hit on the tower for Faceless Void death, and that's gold for your entire team. Your supports are going to get quite a bit. Batrider really needs a Blink Dagger or at least some treads to stay a little durable. Magic Wand wouldn't be too bad either. But right now, even though they did get the track kill on Faceless Void, it put them in an okay position. But now, this is not really the same story. 3 deaths on top lane, really not where you want to be at. Batrider didn't even get a chance to put its lasso down. Like I said, not very survivable. And with that, they really don't have a strength initiator. They have the only strength hero they have is the Wisp, and he jumps in to initiate globally with like a quick pick-off, like a quick 2v1 is what he's designed for. But right here, what we're seeing is not that at all. A nice roar coming out before the blink can go on through, but he does not have an urn charge and will not be able to bring her down. Nice attempt, but if he had the urn charge, he would be able to, you know, burn her down. She doesn't have any bottle charges, just that magic wand, which has already been exhausted. So he could have gotten the kill, but unfortunately the charges weren't available, so just popping it off, overestimating his damage, and wasting his roar in turn. So he's just going to be looking for a rune to bottle up to get that mana back, but in the meantime, that tier 1 top tower kill, very, very essential to keep that going. So Dire is definitely taking a demanding lead. We saw the tier 1 tower kill up top here when Faceless Void died, to be a little bit favorable as far as gold goes, but as far as gold and experience, now that that tower has died, it's severely in the advantage of Tropical Earthquake. So nice action on the board for them. They've got a number of track kills, which I cannot understate as a very, very important component to keeping things active. In the meantime, though, Faceless Void just trying to keep his farm up, trying to outdo this Luna, who's been farming amazingly thus far. So that is what is up. Looking at the GPM right now, 519, sitting on Luna. She's going to get some big items in no time at all. Faceless Void wants to go aggressive. Chronos on 2. Tropical doesn't, or sorry, the Beastmaster doesn't have his Roar Variable, so with some bashes, no overcharge, but if the Mask of Madness is enough to get a lot of bashes. Holy crap, Rathica Bob can't even get a spell cast off. Very, very fortunate for your hate, and now he wants to go aggressive on Beastmaster. Has his Roar finally, but he gets tether stunned. Is he going to get it off? No, he's going to drop down, and with that, Queen of Pain's going to clean up on the Bounty Hunter. Just needs one more Scream. Pop the Sonic Wave, pop the Scream, whatever you need to do to bring him down. They managed to do so. Get the Beastmaster killing now. A bad TP from Topsu. He has the Roar, but he's 1v4. Bought back, TP'd in, and just gonna die again. Oh, such a painful team fight for a Tropical Earthquake here. Completely destroyed, decimated, and obliterated when it comes down to that fight there. Buyback on the Beastmaster. He's not the most item-dependent hero, but every little bit helps. You need an Aghanims to make sure you have the range of initiation on Faceless Void. A Medallion for a little bit of bonus damage. Probably doesn't have the slots for that. Anything like that, you can really get some great benefit out of items, and right now, that's just not an option. When you buy back, you die twice. It's really going to be very, very painful. So that was a really nice chrono, and I gotta say, amazingly lucky bashes. 25% chance, and he bashed Jakiro twice in a row right when he was going to cast his Ice Path, and then he bashes the Beastmaster right when he's going to roar, as well as just getting a number of bashes to increase his burst damage on the Shadow Demon, or sorry, the Rubik, while he was within the Chronosphere. All of that combined together, and it was a really, really fortunate fight for that Faceless Void. 5-1 and 2. Now he's sitting at bringing his GPM up to 490. So that's very nice. And Mask of Madness being very effective in that manner. If he gets disabled while Mask of Madness is active, it's actually just going to be more of a pain than helping him out. But so far, it's worked out very well for him with that increased attack speed, and it's only going to get faster as the overcharge comes into play with Wisp's next 2 levels. But it looks like the Dire team wants to change this up a little bit. Bounty Hunter needs to turn invis, otherwise he's going to be very visible as he walks in. But there's really not any Radiant Wards they have to concern themselves with, so this smoke is mostly just for show, as well as finding a Faceless Void completely caught on out. They do stack the Telekinesis and the Roar. Will he be able to time walk out in time? He does try to do so, and it looks like there's going to be a recall back just to make sure he is perfectly safe, but that might mean that Shadow Demon and Queen of Pain are in over their head. I don't know if Tropical Earthquake has realized that Faceless Void is not in the action just yet, but in a moment's time, yeah, they must realize by now, but 12 seconds have expired, and the Wisp pulls him right back into the fray. So now it's going to be 4v3, and they're going to be in pursuit. And now time walk in. He does get the Chronosphere, but only on Jakiro. Beastmaster just barely on the outside of it and was able to escape for the time being. Rathica Bab definitely going to get locked down here. Your hate picking up the kill on that. Beastmaster, get out of there, man. I don't know what he thinks he's doing, but the Bounty Hunter's Shadow Walk has expired. If they did have some vision, they would be able to bring him down, but the spirits are not up on Wisp for the time being, so he's just going to keep doing what he's doing. I think they heard it. I think there's audio cue, so he should pop off his spirits. If they hit, they will detonate, which will express his position wholeheartedly. In the meantime, though, Luna farming up on the jungle. Very, very effective farm, getting the BKB up so quickly, and she can pretty much use it in any team fight she wants from this point on. So she can prevent Tether Stuns, Bat Rider's magical damage, and Queen of Pain's magical damage as well. So really just great for survivability, keeping that Eclipse in the fight. In the meantime, Faceless Void is Janota'd up as well as tracked, and there are 4 heroes wanting to go aggressive now. The only one that is not in the fight is Jakiro. I see is just TP top. He would love to be bottom right now, but that's not an option. In the meantime, though, Faceless Void Chronosphere is on cooldown, and this is the time that act like Beastmaster is the captain of the team or something. But Tropical Earthquake, this is the opportunity for them to push in and actually win a fight. The fact of the matter is that there's not that much disable from coming out of Lina, Varit, Borsh after the Chronosphere is on CD. Only Disruption and the Batrider Lasso, as well as Tether. But here comes some big damage coming on out. Luna pops the BKB, has the Eclipse going. Lucent Beam, Roar going on through. There is a nice Lasso onto Ritari, reducing her attack damage. But right now, Your Hate has no opportunity but to flee for his life. He pops the Mask of Madness for interest of movement speed. But now he's trapped in the trees, and they've all been destroyed. Wisp, what are you doing, you traitor? He tethered in, destroyed all the trees, revealing their position. The jig is up, and they are able to be brought down. So Wisp and Faceless Void both killed, as well as Shadow Demon dropped down immediately. Fortunately, Queen of Pain, despite being tracked, was able to blink on either, and surprisingly, Batrider, with his new Blink Dagger, shiny new Blink Dagger, was able to escape as well. But at the cost of your Tier 1 tower, 2-3 teammates, not really going to be what you're looking for there. But of course the Chronosphere is now available, and they're going to be looking for a big fight. Also, you have to keep in mind that every time Lina pops her BKB, it does reduce in duration. So now down to 9 seconds, and they want her to pop those charges. That definitely allows them to fight her more effectively as the game goes on. However, always going to be the best thing. However, Dire finding out the Radiant stacks, saying Faceless Void not going to be your option, as we are able to bring this down with a little bit of Fade Bolt, Beastmaster Axes, and yeah, and along those lines, there's also a couple of really nice picks. I'm assuming that was purchased, yeah, that's the Shadow Demon. So Shaq Wow purchased a gem for the Bounty Hunter. I presume he was carrying it on his own person, but one way or another it was dropped on the battlefield and now is in possession of the Dire. This gives them an amazing opportunity to de-ward as effectively as they need to. Right now there's literally only one sentry on the field, no observers at all, so Topsy's not going to get too much advantage of that, but that one thing that does show them is that they have control of the map. They know that there are no wards available and that they can gank as effectively as possible. Along with that, of course, Lina, Varit, Borsh know that they're blind and have to play very conservatively as a result. So now there's a haste rune on the Beastmaster. He has a gem. He can summon a Hawk on a board at any time to de-ward, and he can pretty much has just complete control of the battlefield. Can roam around, disable, nuke down, and destroy. So Tropical Earthquake in a really good spot right now. Looking back at the gold graph, look at that gigantic advantage that Radiant had with that 5-man team fight, and then how it just completely plummeted down. That's kind of been the name of the game. Like, they're in first blood, and there's a couple courier kills, and then here is a gigantic win with 5 hero kills and a single tower kill, and then suddenly they lose a team fight. It's right back down. So very back and forth, very interesting, and along with that, the experience kind of going the same way. So, Ritari is getting some nice stacks out of the neutrals. It looks like he doesn't have a dominated creep. Yeah, the creep is, you know, chilling out. Troll Warlord just guarding this building here. Just wants to make sure it's safe. But in the meantime, they are getting some stacks out of the supports. They are committing a little bit of time to that, and that will allow Luna to farm that much more rapidly with those Moonglaives to bounce around some cleave damage. So, there goes that, and with that, she is topping out net worth at 12.7k. And that's pretty awesome. So she has her BKB like we already stated, and she's looking for her Manta style. Actually, rather close to that, almost up to the Ultimate Orb if she wants to sell that Ring of Protection, now that she's decided Aquila is not going to be her best bet. Interestingly enough, they don't have a single Basilius on their team, so that is one aura that they are not really getting too much benefit out of. But so far they're winning the right-click battles. The only thing they have to really worry about is the physical damage of Faceless Void. The fortification has been popped, maybe a bit of a mistake unless they go for the deny right here. They are looking for it, but they're not going to get it. Dire takes it down, Siege Creep doing too much, but here comes the initiation. Varit jumps on in with that Blink Dagger, lassos up Brutus, and he's going to be taking a lot of damage, but on the back end of things, Bounty Hunter trying to bring down Shaq Wow gets disrupted up. Brutus running for his life gets hit by the Flame Break, and with that, he's going to drop as well as Wrath of the Bob, who's been napalmed up over and over and over, and now Bounty Hunter finally ending that chase with the Shadow Demon, able to bring him down, but now running for his life in out of visibility. They are able to finish the job there. Now it looks like Faceless Void is going to be looking for an MKB. He knows he has the overcharge attack speed. He has the Mask of Madness, so he's going for a very glass cannon oriented build. He cannot become immune through the disables of the Beastmaster, or if the Rubik steals the lasso. So with that in mind, he's like, screw BKB, I'm going to go Glass Cannon, and if he can get a really amazing Chronosphere with Wisp overcharging him, he can pretty much kill 2.5 people during that single Chrono, especially since there's no Basilius or giving the armor bonus to the allies there. I'm sure they're going to get a Buckler at the very least in short work, but right now Jakiro seems pretty underfarmed. Looking at the net worth, we're looking at 2,600 for Jakiro, so that mechanism's a long way off, and that's not where he wants to be at. But Luna farming up so amazingly as well with that Manta style, just playing with a very solid build. Going to be rushing for some heavy stat items now, maybe Satanic, maybe Butterfly, whatever she needs. World is her oyster. But yeah, they're scouting out Roche a little bit, drawing their lines there. They don't want to have to worry about that, and just kind of going from there. So it looks like Queen of Pain is pushing up on the tier 1 tower. It's been a long time waiting to bring that down. That thing's been sitting for way too long, so she's going to scream that up a little bit, try to get the push going, but in the meantime, smoke is popped off. Dire's like, okay, well, you got 2 people committed to top lane, you can have that tower, we're going to take your carry. So your hate is going to get a very unwarm welcome right here. Lucent Beam, Telekinesis, and Roar stacked up, but with the Eclipse being popped, it's going to be well worth it to bring him down. An attempt to relocate out by the Wisp, I like it, but it would have been at best a 12-second distraction, but at the very least, you know, he got dropped down too quickly for it to matter. So Faceless Void popping a buyback again. I feel that's a huge mistake. The buyback just cost him 800 gold, So he could have had half of his Javelin right now. He could have had his MKB and just a few short creeps. Maybe that tier 2 tower kill, if that was an option, which I doubt it is, as there is just this big swarm of dire heroes coming in, transitioning in to bring somebody down. And it looks like they're going to get a free lane ward as a result. Wow, why is she still there? I thought she would have been blinked into the trees and gone by now, but no. She gets locked down. Nice blink aggression coming in from somebody who has a blink, which I do not know. I thought I saw somebody like jumping on in there, but I guess not. Trick of my mind. Whatever. Not a big deal. Maybe it's just Luna's too fast movement speed. She looks like she's moving faster than light. One way or another, though. I bet it was Time Walk. I bet it was Time Walk stolen by Rubik. But anyways. Not a big deal. Force Staff has been completed on Rubik. Now he has a Time Walk of his own, so to speak, and can jump into the fray whenever he needs to. In the meantime, Bounty Hunter farming up, looking for that BKB, and that'll be very interesting as well. Beastmaster doing what he does, throwing down those axes. I think they need to be a little bit more active in stacking the neutrals, getting those ancients. It's just pretty much free income. Every time you stack those up, it's a free set of a large amount of golden experience, which Luna can pick up in very short time. They don't want to go for Roshan just yet, or, well, they could, but I don't think it's the best idea because of the Chronosphere. Like I said, when that MKB is finished, with the Overcharge Wisp, which is only rank 2 Overcharge right now, I feel he could have committed that a little bit more than his other abilities. But one way or another, yeah, I don't think that Roshan would be the best idea if Fates' Blood had any idea, but one thing they know is that there are no wards on the battlefield. With all this Gem of True Sight nonsense going on, Beastmaster has held this for like half the game now, and that's an overstatement, but still, the fact of the matter is they know that there's no vision. They know that they're forced to push the top tower, which honestly isn't even what they want to do, but the fact of the matter is there's nothing more that can be done. Nice little Fade Bolt animation, kind of bugged out there, but, you know, he's very fadey. Anywho, they're going to be able to bring this down very, very swiftly, and with that pick up a nice survivability item on Luna. Of course, what's better than having 2 lives as far as survivability goes, so getting the 1-up mushroom, Agency Immortal picked up on Luna for the next 6 minutes, and Tropical Earthquake in a very good position to defend this tier 2 tower. They should all go in simultaneously, but that's really all they have to worry about. With the fortification, 5-second duration, they should be able to bring down at least 1 hero here. They have a Time Walk and then a Tether, and they do have a Blink Dagger on Batrider, but if they can get any disables on any of them. No, they want to initiate. I think this is a really big mistake. Up against the Aegis the Immortal, the Shadow Demon is dropping really quickly on the back end of things. Bounty Hunter changes his target up, Retari on the back end. Roar goes on Fates' Void, doesn't even get the Chrono off, and now Wisp will take a fall here. Attempt to get a nice Sonic Wave off, not really going to be very successful. Everybody on the Radiant has survived. Queen of Pain does get her TP off. I guess the Lucent Beam wasn't available, but Shadow Demon on the back end. Still probably with regular boots, yeah. So underfarmed. 345 movement speed, can barely waddle on out of that fight. So that was an engagement they could not take. They tried to. Batrider had that blink, had the Force Staff to try to pull the opposition out, but once they jumped in, they committed themselves to something that was just a bite that was too big to chew. So they got locked down there. Very nice action from Tropical Earthquake going in as 5. Maybe he thought that there weren't as many heroes as there were. They did have this ward though, so I don't know. And one way or another, they could get locked down very hard. Tropical Earthquake taking this game in stride, very effective. Now dominating on the golden, especially the experience. Over 10,000 on the experience is really the big advantage. You can look at levels. Look at this poor Shadow Demon, and even the Wisp, level 9 and 10. Oh, up against level 19 Luna. It's just like a towering foe. And you just look at that, and you're like, okay, well, you're a toddler fighting a bear right now. How do you feel? And so Shadow Demon just has to do the best he can, keep his wards up, and try to keep momentum rolling. But up against a Gem of True Sight, possessed by a Beastmaster who just will not die. I don't know if that's going to be an option. One way or another, though, good action coming out of Tropical Earthquake. I really wish this mechanism was a little bit more prioritized, getting Jakara a little bit more farm, possibly in the jungle. But one way or another, it's working out. Though there is one item that has been picked up that might change the tide of battle just a little bit. Queen of Pain has picked up the Scythe of Ice and 3.5 seconds of disable on that Luna when her BKB has expired or just yet to activate. Could be really, really big. Right now, Luna does not want to pop her BKB until after the Aegis of the Immortal goes down, just based on the fact that you'll be coming back with a full health bar and able to clean up the fight very effectively if you can't get disabled with her major movement speed. But a nice initiation coming in from Batrider, jumping on in. Chronosphere on 2. They tried to help him out and naturally went into a position that only hurt them. Rubik was able to disable the rest of the team on the back end, though, with a really nice spell steal, and with that Roar coming out, couldn't bring down Topsu in time. Roar comes out and faces Void. He dropped down, and with a nice counter chrono coming out of Brutus, they were actually able to clean up the rest of the fight. So beautiful action there. Luna does... No, that's an illusion. I was confused there. Anyways, yeah, she doesn't even have to bat an eyelash at her Aegis or at her BKB. She just dominates on through there. That strength item, the Satanic, picked up, brings her HP up to 2164. As well, when you activate it, you pretty much get full health with 2 auto attacks. Like, it's a lifesteal bonus of 175%, so pretty much giving you double the amount of damage you deal to the opposition in health. It's just insane. So they're going to bring this down. GG has already been called, and will play to Tropical Earthquake. They played this very, very smoothly. Ritari doing what he needed to, farming, while the rest of the team managed to fight the opposition in a favorable position, going 4v5 and still managing to come out pretty effectively there with the Beastmaster Roars and just good action on all parts. Of course, the track really helped the supports get farmed up. Again, my only complaint, this mechanism could have been a little bit more prioritized with farming on the Rubik, the Chikiro, but it didn't matter in the end. They were able to bring down the opposition and played it out very, very effectively. So, cool. So, thank you guys for tuning in thus far, and we'll be going on to another game. I'm going to grab a